Well, I got a little bit of firewood processing to do. That one's got a chunk of wire in it. I like my camera stand right there. But I got to block this stuff up. And I need to do some more milling. I want to make a bottom to that trailer. So I think I've got enough right there to do it. And I'll slab up some more, I think. But winter's coming quick, you know. I need to clean this off so I can make room to put more up in here. And a lot of that's going to be chainsaw type work, because like that one right there, where it's a crotch, I can't bust that with an axe. I could do it with a splitter, but I'm not going to run the splitter. Either going to run an axe or the chainsaw. That's what I do. I want to put some time on this Jonsered 801. Possibly the Rancher right there, the 61. And that 70E needs nothing. It runs beautifully. Same with the L77. Both those saws are pretty well sorted out. But these two here, they run good once started, but they're a little bit tough to start. They both appear to have good spark. So I think what I'm going to try to do first is go back to basics and just change the spark plugs in those two things. Starting with this 801. I want to run that today if I can. That'd be a beautiful blocking saw. Yesterday that showed some serious power potential. It really did. You know? So that's what I want to run today, that one. Let's see if we can get it going. So when you're buying spark plugs, you've got two choices. You can buy a Husqvarna brand for $7 or an NGK for $5. So there's a $2 difference between those. I don't know what to tell you. I'm going to run a 6 instead of a 7, and that's a little bit hotter. The 7 is what's recommended, and the heat range on this is just a little bit warmer. Now, for those who haven't raced motorcycles and all that stuff, the heat range for a spark plug is about how it holds heat in the tip. The hot plugs retain the heat a little more, so they run a little hotter, and the cold plugs shed the heat a little faster. You probably can't even tell a difference, but there is a difference in the heat range. And again, it has to do with their ability to shed the heat. One of the characteristics of this saw that I mentioned and observed yesterday was it really pumps out the bar oil very quickly. I think it's one of the few saws that I've experienced where it'll pump out the bar oil tank faster than it sucks down the gas. I don't know if that's a blessing or a curse, you know. But maybe if we get it where it runs right, this one right here might be a perfect saw for milling because of all the oil it cranks out. That saw right there, I'm trying to get a different oil pump for it, because while it's an adequate amount, it's not really enough for sustained, you know, cuts in the milling. You know, if that was a wider board, it wouldn't be enough. But anyway, let me see if I can get this thing started. Get a little bit of tune time. I see a bird already found this thing here. Left a nice load of poop on it. be interesting, but I think by tipping it forward like that, a little bit of gas got down in there and helped it fire off. Let's see if it restarts. don't think I'm out of fuel, but I think I'm out of bar oil. That chain runs pretty tight on this saw. Not quite sure I understand why, but it does. Yeah, maybe I better bring it back to the mobile hilltop pickup shop. Take a peek inside and see what's going on with that. And then see if it'll restart. You know? I might go to axe for a little bit too here. A lot of this stuff I can do with the axe, but if it's got knots and stuff in it like that over there, why would I fight it? You know, so I've been picking on stuff like that one right there, where you can see there's, you know, a little bit of roughness there, just discontinuity where there was a branch, or that one there, you know. And then the ones that have nice straight grain, like that stuff right there on the ground, I'll just do that with the axe. It'll be a lot faster. You know? Oh, it's almost out of gas, and it's definitely out of bar oil. So that was a pretty good guess. And that thing was running a little bit tight, so now let's see if we can get another tank through it. And I'm going to pull the bar a little bit and loosen up the chain, see what's happening in there. You know, I've had saws where they just tighten up on their own, you know. This might be one of them. Well, check this out. It's already got an 8-pin sprocket, and it's a shimmed steel bar, you know, a steel mount bar. And it looks like I had the die grind out a little bit here, and then made some shims for it. And of course, I brought the chain speed up with that, and it has the power to pull it, obviously. The only thing I see wrong with that setup, there's only one thing. And you see how the chain doesn't enter the bar until there? I may need to do something about that, because that's going to tend to want to throw that chain at some point. It's just a matter of time. You know, a 7-pin sprocket, it'll enter a little bit further down, you know, because it's a smaller diameter. So I'm going to have to watch for that. And so I'm going to back off the adjustment just a wee bit. See what happens. Well, the sun's going down a little bit, so I think I'm going to go over and start working on that big one over there. Start with that. I may have to hit it from two sides and see if we can burn down some of that fuel. That bar oil is just going to come right out of there. It's what they do. So anyway, let me just put the camera up here on this pedestal. I don't know if it'll catch anything or not. Right next to the bird poop. cutting really good. Let me get a little closer in. I wanted to show you some of the grain on that wood I'm cutting through, that old ash. Now, a couple of things. One, this one has got a little ash borer attention. And you can tell, well, it's not showing obvious, but it is. Check out that. Go after that one right there next. So finish fucking that up. Let's see if this restarts like that. Look at that. So it's idling really nice and it's cutting well. It's got the 8-pin sprocket to pick up the chain speed some, and it could probably pull a longer bar with that sprocket. gas again. We're certainly running out of daylight. So, what do you think? So that's a Jonsered 801. That's an 80cc saw, and you know, it runs in the same RPM range that saws of that era did. You know, it's not a screamer. I mitigated that a little bit with the 8-pin sprocket, typical things we do. Put a NGK plug in there, and it seems to run pretty good. I hear a little bit of a misfire from time to time, but that's when it's getting low on the fuel, so might be running a little bit lean. And what else? It's got good compression. And if you look at Mike Akers' chainsaw collector for information for old saws like that, I guess it was made from 1970 to 1980, so it's a 1970s era saw. So it was competing with the likes of a Homelite 925 or 800 or, you know, 903. That class of saw is what this was competing against. And the Husqvarna L77 came mid-1970s. 1974, I guess, is when they were introduced. So this was competing head-to-head with that saw as well. This one's a little heavier, but the Jonsreds were obviously a little ahead of their time. You know, handy vibe on it. Very well-built machine. And I don't know if you've noticed, it's running a little bit better as it gets a little more time on it. It's like reseating the rings and all that. The seals are swelling, you know, so they seal a little bit better. But oils really well. And it seems like the key for me to get it started is to choke it and then tip it forward, so a little bit of that fuel goes right into the bottom end, and then it seems to light right off. Where if I just pull while it's horizontal, it won't start as easy as it should. So I don't know if it's an idiosyncrasy with that saw, or is that just what they did. Well, I'm kind of curious to see how much fuel is left, but before I do that, I just want to see if it restarts. It may be out of fuel. Check out where the muffler outlet is. Kind of seen that before, huh? And because it does that, it's a pretty good saw for doing what I'm doing now, because the chips are going in the right direction. Alright, let me see how much fuel is left in this thing. It looks to be like it's out of bar oil. And yeah, it's bone dry. Yeah, that means the bar oil is empty as well. So, alright, sun's down. Talk to you later. Bye for now. Well, I'd say from the way that saw ran, the sun's not going down on that thing just yet, is it? Look at that. But the other saw I really would like to get going in this series is a 621. That's a 60cc saw. And I think they were way ahead of their time. I really do. If that's a 1970s saw, you just think about it. It was competing against McCullochs and Homelites and stuff like that. And this one had a vertical cylinder layout, you know, piston port, kind of like the Husky L77.